Hi Victoria, it's nice to see that you sent us a set of essays. Let's take a look at what you've done here. The first one is about international marketing, so here we go. There is no doubt that foreign trading contributes a lot to the economic stability of a nation. However, while some argue that it is sometimes a means of intruding and invading into the country in question, I agree with those who believe that it is a necessity for country development and a way of cultural knowledge and language exchange. This essay will air my views on both statements. Okay, for the most part, this is nice. Grammatically, there aren't any problems. You had some nice vocabulary. You did a little bit of rephrasing of the prompt. There was some of it that felt a little too faithful to some of the language. I would have liked to see maybe some different words. But let me tell you what my concern is here. This one right here, you wrote foreign trading. And I want you to be careful because foreign trade and international marketing are not synonyms. They're two different things. So I really want you to be careful with this. So as an examiner, this would be a red flag to me that, maybe this is going to be an off-topic response. So, I'll be reading the rest of it to see, is it in fact on topic and talking about international marketing, or is it talking about trade? Because you don't want that to happen. All right, let's see what you did say, though. Firstly, it is of importance to acknowledge the fear of a country regarding the intrusion of foreigners into their respective marketing settings and country. Okay, however, international trading has always been a method to improve the economic status of a country, especially dealings that have to do with trade exchange, such as import and export trades between the two countries. For instance, over a decade, the relation between Nigeria and China started with trading, and to date, the majority of electronic gadgets and technologies currently used by citizens of Nigeria are imported from China. In addition, this union also created a lot of job opportunities. Okay, see, let me tell you what you did here. You completely went off topic, okay? You're supposed to analyze the view that international marketing is an invasion and an intrusion. You didn't talk about that. You said it's important to acknowledge it, but that's all you did. You just mentioned it, and then you went on to say about, oh, look how great international trade is in improving the economics of a country. So the whole paragraph is off topic. You didn't discuss the view, not at all. Okay? When they say discuss both views, they mean discuss it. Why do people think this? What sort of justification do they have for this particular viewpoint? What is their reasoning? How do they back it up? How can you support it? Give us examples, give us illustrations, give us some sort of explanation. And you didn't do that. All right. Instead, you just argued about the benefits of international trade. And I'm going to remind you again that international trade is not what we're supposed to be talking about, but instead international marketing. All right, so while the language you used is lovely, it clearly shows that this is an off-topic response, okay? And that's going to really be penalized in your task achievement. So let's look at the next paragraph. On the other hand, international marketing is a great means of improving the correlation between two different nations and the enhancement of cultural understanding of various regions. I don't like this word correlation. I think you mean cooperation, really. It's not correlation, though. With reference to the saying that knowledge is wisdom, foreign trading could contribute more than anyone could imagine in terms of educating the young generation and impacting new ideas. Not impacting, maybe imparting new ideas, as well as learning a new unique language. Okay. You haven't said anything here. You haven't developed it. The grammar is very nice. There's some mistakes with the vocabulary, but you haven't really said anything. It's really a paragraph of just two sentences where essentially you're just restating the viewpoint that was mentioned in the prompt. You said that it, enhances the cultural understanding of different regions. You say that, it helps educate the young generation and give new ideas. Well, that's what we already talked about in the prompt. This isn't a fully developed paragraph. First of all, you can't have a body paragraph with just two sentences. Okay, that's the first mistake. As far as I'm concerned, a good paragraph needs to have a minimum of 5 sentences. All right? So this is just really underdeveloped, both in terms of length, in terms of topic, in terms of discussion, in terms of ideas. So this will also, it's already going to be low because this is off topic, but this is just, continuation that it's not a well-developed paragraph. In conclusion, despite the fact that there are possibilities, international trading may attract numerous migrate. That doesn't make sense here at all. To the country in question, it is also important to understand that it may be undoubtedly beneficial to the nation in question, respectively. Here, you don't really tell us what your viewpoint is. You kind of leave it kind of half and half. So you're saying, despite this, still this. So it's kind of important to show what you're siding with. I think you said in the beginning, I agree with those who believe it's a necessity. Okay, so you were nice and clear about it here. I would have liked that at the end as well, to be that clear, because it wasn't so clear. So obviously this is an essay with some problems. For me, the biggest problems is in terms of understanding the topic as well as developing the topic. You had some problems there. So I think you said your exam's coming up in the next week or so. See if you can sign up some essay corrections with us in this week so we could see you writing on different topics as well. And, maybe we can help you prepare in this last, in these last few days that you have before your exam, okay? Meanwhile, I know you sent us a task 1 as well, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so the bar chart illustrates the preferred movies among grown-ups globally. Well, it's not just grown-ups, but it's actually young adults, if I remember correctly. All right, it's really helpful if you can include the image that you used so that I can refer to it, but that's okay. In the future, maybe you can do that. Overall, it is clear that action movies, comedy, and horror movies are more popular among men. However, ladies seem to find comedy film extremely interesting, as well as romantic movies and drama. Okay. It's not wrong. I don't really like that word, extremely interesting. You could have just said seem to favor comedy film as well as XYZ. Okay, this is a chart, not a chat, so be careful there. Looking at the chart, comedy movies maintain their popularity, and you didn't want an apostrophe there anyway because that means something totally different. So their popularity among both male and female adults worldwide, with a total of 145 men and 137 women. Not in love with comedy shows. I wouldn't really prefer this sort of expression. If I know you're trying to find alternative vocabulary words here, but in love is really not the kind of language we use in a report. So instead, let's say something else. Let's try something like, with 145 men and 137 women favoring comedy movies, or preferring comedy movies, or indicating that this movie genre is their favorite. There are a lot of ways you could have done it, but it needs to be a more neutral style and not really so, using this kind of expression, which is rather informal. There is obvious interest in action movies and horror movies among men. However, 63 men prefer to watch animation movies and drama. All right, well, okay, I don't really understand this because you're telling me about popularity in men, so you're talking about 145, and then you're telling me that there's interest, but I don't know what that figure is, and then you tell me, however, animation movies and drama. So why are you telling me this, however, here? Are you trying to tell me that that's like the lowest figure on the chart? That's really rather confusing. Globally, the number of women who find romantic movies captivating has a tremendous rate of 116, whereas the preference of young men towards would be the right word here, slumped to 31. Slumped is not the right word. It's an action verb. You don't want that kind of word. Something like was at, or was recorded at, something like that would have been okay. Conversely, about 86 ladies enjoy seeing drama series, as well as slightly over that number finds action movies interesting. And in addition, horror movies and animation movies also draw women's attention. But that's not really very helpful. What did you really give me in terms of women's data? You told me 137 for comedy, you told me 116 for romantic movies, and then 86 for drama. What's missing for me is this idea of comparison. I think that you were just so concerned about making sure that you had a variety of vocabulary that you didn't really focusing on reporting. Okay, so I really, first thing I want to see is more appropriate IELTS vocabulary. I didn't really find a lot of this particularly task 1 relevant, okay? Let's see. So like this, they found it captivating, had a tremendous rate. There was obvious interest. Where was that other thing where I said they were in love with? No, all of this is not really appropriate for task 1. So task 1 really needs a certain kind of language, okay, in order to fulfill this report function appropriately. And this all felt like it belonged in a very different type of writing task. Apart from that, I didn't really feel like you had enough reporting. You had a wonderful opportunity here to make comparisons, to show differences, and so forth. You didn't really do that. Like I said, I think you were just far too concerned with the vocabulary. You didn't focus enough on how to organize your data, how to report data, okay? Because this doesn't tell me anything. There was obvious interest in action movies. All right, great. So is it the 3rd most popular? Is it the 4th most popular? How does it compare to the other ones? So I'm really not getting reporting here, okay? And the same thing you did here too. Over the number that finds action movies interesting. It's not telling me anything. So it's an underdeveloped and answer, and like I said, the vocabulary wasn't really terribly appropriate. So here's what we have to do now. Your exam is coming up. Go ahead, take your exam. If you have time before your exam, sign up for some essay corrections and go ahead and do that. But I think what you would really benefit from is joining the online course. You'll get lots of information, not only on the areas that we talked about today, like vocabulary for task 1 and how to organize your answer, but also some of those things we talked about in task 2 that were problematic, like having really cohesive paragraphs, which was missing from your essay. So that's what I really want to encourage you to do. Go ahead, take the exam this week, but like I said, I really would like to see you on the course. I think you'll find it really immensely beneficial to you. All right, so best of luck to you. Do keep us updated on your progress, and we'll look forward to hearing from you.